last class, what have we discussed?
We were introduced outset.
Note making.
Yes. First of all, we started with introducing yourself. So most of all of you, partly you have introduced yourself. Then we started the topic, note making. Isn't it? So it is very important for taking notes as you are professionals. So there are certain tips for making notes. First one, prepare notes using phrases only. Never use complete sentences. The topic sentence of each paragraph is the main point, and ideas affiliated to it are sub-points, one or more depending on the concept in the paragraph. So as I said in your class, already your boss are saying something, telling something. But however, the introductory part is very important because it just summarizes the whole information, whatever in the whole text, isn't it? যেটা প্রথমে আমরা কিন্তু সবই প্রথমে বলে নেই, the summary, the main ideas. So just focus on the first sentence. This is called topic sentence. If you are reading the paragraphs, যে আপনারা যদি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এ থাকেন, যে if you read an answer of a question, দেখবেন যে প্রত্যেকটা প্যারাগ্রাফের যে মেইন the first sentence is topic sentence and the information, the extract, the gist of the information is given in the topic sentence. So while taking notes, focus on the topic sentence. Then each sub-points may or may not have supplementary ideas which become sub-points. After under one point there are certain sub-points. একটা পয়েন্টে আরো কিছু included থাকে, we will include that as well. Provide an appropriate title for the notes, summary or abstract as given in the question. So provide an appropriate title for the note, summary, abstract as given in the question. So you have to give the title. Otherwise you will be confused and bewildered. What is the main idea and topic? So that's why first of all giving the title information. Then it would be very easier for understanding. For the note, summary, abstract or given in the question. Then number 5, include a minimum of 4 to 6 distinctly different recognizable short forms, abbreviation of the words in the notes. As in the last class we have already discussed. You will communicate with your boss what will be the key terminology, the key abbreviated forms of the word, because we have a very short period of time and we cannot take all the information, so we have to use abbreviated words. Then cover all the important points in the notes meaningfully to prepare the abstract summary in about this word 80,100 words. So maybe you are asked to summarize the whole meeting, isn't it?
Yes.
So based on that's why this taking notes is very important. After taking this note, you will have a very brief idea then what it deals with. Then it would be easier to make a summary. So your question for your question in the midterm examination, there will be note taking as well as summary. It could be that maybe you will be asked to take notes from a reading text, taking particular information. Also, you will be asked to make a summary on it. Sometimes it can be or can be not. Okay.
I'm always attentive that I'm not always utilizing the information with the person. It is a limited question.
I want to say that we don't have any what can I say? In this semester, the midterm exam will not held. It
Will not be held.
Yes.
Why?
Because this is the first semester, and so the mentoring director
Direct
final.
Yes.
direct final, yes.
We'll see. We'll discuss it with the authority. Okay. Include a minimum of 4 to 6 distinctly different recognizable short forms, then cover all the important points in the notes meaningfully to all the exam will be suspended.
No.
Particular this course.
Yes.
This course. All the exams. For the First
For which
year.
Only for first semester.
Okay, write the summary. Cover all the important points meaningfully to prepare the abstract summary and write the summary in a complete sentence in a paragraph. Summary তে কিন্তু complete sentence লিখতে হবে, right?
Yes.
আর নাই। Okay, can you turn this off?
Us as members of the study, many of the women said, you know, it's about time. So what have we learned? What are the lessons that come from the tens of thousands of pages of information that we generated on these lives? Well, the lessons aren't about wealth or fame or working harder and harder. The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. We've learned three big lessons
Information related to good life and good relationship.
Relationship is-
about relationships. The first is that social connections are really good for us, and that loneliness kills. It turns out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier.
Family friend আস্তে আস্তে develop
মানে কি হয়? The world is against us, no? Everything is going wrong.
Yes.
But the opportunity had is really amazing.
What?
They're physically healthier and they live longer than people who are less well connected.
Less connected.
And the
Right.
experience of loneliness turns out to be toxic. People who are more isolated than they want to be from others find that they are less happy, their health declines earlier in midlife, their brain functioning declines sooner, and they live shorter lives than people who are not lonely. And the sad fact is that at any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans will report that they're lonely. And we know that you can be lonely in a crowd and you can be lonely in a marriage. So the second big lesson that we learned is that it's not just the number of friends you have, and it's not whether or not you're in a committed relationship, but it's the quality of your close relationships that matters.
Important information.
It turns out that living in the midst of conflict is really bad for our health. High conflict marriages, for example, without much affection, turn out to be very bad for our health, perhaps worse than getting divorced. And living in the midst of good, warm relationships is protective. Once we had followed our men all the way into their 80s, we wanted to look back at them at midlife and to see if we could predict who was going to grow into a happy, healthy octogenarian and who wasn't. And when we gathered together everything we knew about them at age 50, it wasn't their middle-aged cholesterol levels that predicted how they were going to grow old. It was how satisfied they were in their relationships. The people who were the most satisfied in their relationships at age 50 were the healthiest at age 80. And good, close relationships seem to buffer us from some of the slings and arrows of getting old. Our most happily partnered men and women reported in their 80s that on the days when they had more physical pain, their moods stayed just as happy. But the people who were in unhappy relationships, on the days when they reported more physical pain, it was magnified by more emotional pain. And the third big lesson that we learned about relationships and our health is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains. It turns out that being in a securely attached relationship to another person in your 80s is protected. That the people who are in relationships where they really feel they can count on the other person in times of need, those people's memories stay sharper longer. And the people in relationships where they feel they really can't count on the other one, those are the people who experience earlier memory decline. And those good relationships, they don't have to be smooth all the time. Some of our octogenarian couples could bicker with each other day in and day out. But as long as they felt that they could really count on the other when the going got tough, those arguments didn't take a toll on the memories. So, this message that good, close relationships are good for our health and well-being, this is wisdom that's as old as the hills. Why is this so hard to get and so easy to ignore? Well, we're human. What we'd really like is a quick fix, something we can get that'll make our lives good and keep them that way. Relationships are messy and they're complicated, and the hard work of tending to family and friends, it's not sexy or glamorous. It's also lifelong. It never ends. The people in our 75-year study who were the happiest in retirement were the people who had actively worked to replace workmates with new playmates. Just like the millennials in that recent survey, many of our men, when they were starting out as young adults, really believed that fame and wealth and high achievement were what they needed to go after to have a good life. But over and over these 75 years, our study has shown that the people who fared the best were the people who leaned into relationships with family, with friends, with community. So what about you? Let's say you're 25, or you're 40, or you're 60. What might leaning into relationships even look like? Well, the possibilities are practically endless. It might be something as simple as replacing screen time with people time, or livening up a stale relationship by doing something new together, long walks or date nights, or reaching out to that family member who you haven't spoken to in years. Because those all too common family feuds take a terrible toll on the people who hold the grudges. I'd like to close with a quote from Mark Twain.
Ending is important.
More than a century ago,
Write it down.
he was looking back on his life, and he wrote this: "There isn't time, so brief is life, for bickerings, apologies, heartburnings, callings to account. There is only time for loving, and but an instant, so to speak, for that. The good life is built with good relationships." Thank you.
Pause. So we have watched a video of good life. So we have got certain information on good life, isn't it? So we have already taken some notes on it. Anyone want to share what the video includes and what does it take? Can anyone make summary?
Yes, ma'am.
Who? Can you please stand here
Yes.
and summarize the whole points in English, okay?
Okay. I am summarize the what makes a good life. It include this video.
Yes.
We know here. Now it will be someone speaking English. Good relationship. Good relationship make a good reliability in this life, and it is very important for relationship and good life. Good relationship. Time consume limited and lens. First of all, we see this video and we note here time consume and limited. Every person is every family need a time. We both some study and English. studying. There are we know three studying. We know English. We know human life. We here include this video. Human life. You know human life. Human life is very positive and very impressive in your life. Social connection. সামাজিক যে দায়বদ্ধতা বা সামাজিক কানেকশন যোগাযোগগুলো আছে সেগুলো সোশ্যাল কানেকশন উই মেট ফ্রেন্ড ফ্যামিলি নেইবার etc.
Doesn't this video show some statistics?
Makes for good life.
What makes good life? Statistics on some people.
Yes, ma'am.
So who are more aged. But however, they are having good relationship with their friends, family, near and dear ones. They are very mentally sane,
Yes.
stable, and that makes a life very good, happy. A happy life is always a good life, and good relationship keeps you happy a longer life. That's the summary, isn't it? Okay, thank you. Hattali daw.